Hey guys, in today's video I'll be doing a tropical update, and man, I just looked at the National Hurricane Center's website this morning, and man, is it busy. We got three areas on the 2-day graphical tropical weather outlook of disturbed weather that could become tropical systems. The most notable currently is this area in very northern Florida, towards around right over, pretty much seems like right over Jacksonville, near the Florida Georgia border, has a 50% chance already in the next 2 days of becoming a tropical system, and 70% chance of becoming a tropical system over the next 5 days, which is truly incredible. It says as an area of low pressure is expected to form off the southeastern coast of the United States in a day or two. Subsequent development of this system is possible, and a tropical depression is likely to form by the middle of the week, while the system moves northeastward to east-northeastward, initially parallel to the southeastern coast of the U.S. and then away from land. And then we have these two areas. This first area that's going over the central Leeward Islands and heading into the Caribbean says showers and thunderstorms associated with the tropical wave are gradually moving westward away from the Lesser Antilles. Although this disturbance remains disorganized at the time, some gradual development of the system is possible during the next several days while it moves westward at 15 to 20 miles per hour across the Caribbean Sea. Regardless of development, this system will continue to produce gusty winds and locally heavy rainfall across portions of the Windward and Leeward Islands this morning before diminishing this afternoon. Then we have this area in the far eastern Atlantic slowly trying to head towards the central tropical Atlantic. And it says a westward moving tropical wave is located over the eastern Atlantic Ocean, several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. This system is producing limited shower activity, and any further development is expected to be slow to occur while it moves slowly westward over the eastern or central tropical Atlantic. So it doesn't seem like this one, I don't think, will exactly form, though this was also new with kind of this morning's update from the NHC of the tropics in the Atlantic, has a fourth disturbance starting to form going into the next couple of days. It says a new tropical wave is expected to emerge off the coast of Africa in a couple of days. Some gradual development of the system will be possible through the end of the week, while it moves slowly westward over the far eastern tropical Atlantic Ocean. So, this is just crazy, honestly. I mean, the big thing really is we're gonna have to watch this area, because initially it could bring some gusty and unpleasant weather towards the southeast, especially the southeast coast, before it starts to head more kind of out to sea, off of the mid-Atlantic northeast coast. So, in a way, thankfully, this is not really this system doesn't seem none of these systems seem too big of a deal. Like we're gonna have to really prepare for any of them. Really, this system will most likely just continue to bring a lot of just general showers and thunderstorms, and maybe some gusty winds to the southeast coast, before it starts pulling away from the east coast and more out to sea. So that'll be kind of, I think, the extent of it. Though it will be quite interesting, though, to see another tropical system form potentially off of the east coast again, because we've seen that a lot occur. We've seen that happen a lot and over this season so far. And then this system, maybe it forms, but it looks like if it does form at all or anything, it will just continue westward into the Central America and not really curve into the Gulf of Mexico and be any threat to the Gulf Coast or anything. This system also doesn't seem to potentially form into a tropical system really at all. Its window is closing pretty quickly. I think this will really be the main system we're most likely going to have to really watch heading forward into this week, heading towards the end of this upcoming week. So that's kind of my take on all of these disturbances. But this system will be pretty interesting as well to see if it gets named or not. Because we're already at through the M name storm. We've already gone through Marco, and the next name on the list is Nana. So that'll be crazy. So let's look at the tropical tidbits, and let's go to the forecast models. Let's look at the GFS first, and we'll just go to the North Atlantic, get the wide overview shot of the tropics, and show you like pretty much everything it's showing for the tropics. You can see that area near the Leeward Islands continues to move west, not really being much of a threat or anything, not really forming too much of anything. There's that potential East Coast system. It does get pretty wound up, so that's pretty interesting. We'll see how much it's able to really take advantage of like the Gulf Stream and everything, and see if it does in fact become a tropical system, if at all. So that'll be quite interesting. And then as we head forward in time, you can see that other area and this area doesn't really become much of anything exactly. Up until actually this area starting to get closer to the East Coast, but then starts to get kind of pulled more farther out to sea, many hundreds of miles off the East Coast. So that's a relief, because it does get down to 970 millibars there, as you can see right there. So that's pretty crazy. So that's crazy stuff. So the tropics in general, the GFS is showing the tropics are still very much alive, and we're just gonna have to really continue to watch the hurricane season as we continue to head forward into September, because September is climatologically the peak month of the hurricane season. So we do typically expect to see lots and lots, and the majority of the activity happen during September. Now, let's look at the ECMWF model, the European model, and Alright, so here's kind of that vorticity for that disturbance near the Leeward Islands, and then there's the kind of the general vorticity, I think, for that second disturbance, and then that other disturbance coming off Africa is still somewhere over here. And then as we head forward in time, you can see there's that vorticity for that East Coast disturbance. The European model does show kind of a pretty robust, interesting system as it starts to pull away from the East Coast and heads into the Atlantic. Doesn't show much vorticity, and kind of doesn't really do much with that disturbance over the Leeward Islands, as you probably did see. And then it shows actually pretty decent vorticity for, let's see, for that disturbance coming off of Africa as we head towards September 7th, going into next Monday, so a week from tomorrow. And then we have another decent showing of vorticity for potentially another tropical system moving off of Africa as well as we head into next week. So that's pretty crazy. The European model is also on board with a good amount of tropical activity potentially happening. So definitely something we're really going to have to watch. That's pretty nuts. Here's the CMC model. This is a Canadian model. Let's see what the Canadian model shows. You can see there's the system that's infecting the Leeward Islands. That's that first disturbance. And then as we head farther out in time, you can see there's that East Coast disturbance up here. Bring this farther out, and you can see there's that other disturbance. Kind of is a bit slow to start bringing it out into the Atlantic, but then it kind of winds itself up decently. And if I zoom in for you guys, has it down towards, what is that, a 997 millibar low pressure system. So that's pretty decent. If we look at the vorticity that the CMC is showing for these systems, you can see very decent amounts of vorticity for that system. And as we bring this back in time, to show you the other amounts of vorticity it shows, you can see it shows pretty decent vorticity for that East Coast system, especially as it heads more out into the Atlantic. And then it kind of shows maybe some a very small little bit amount of some better vorticity for that other disturbance that's affecting the Leeward and Windward Islands right now. But nothing too impressive whatsoever. So still, though, the CMC is showing decent amounts of potential tropical activity heading forward between now and going into this following week into next week. That's pretty interesting. So that's what the GFS European model and CMC are showing. let's show you. Uh, let's show you. Actually, let's show you what the CFS weekly is showing, because I do want to show you kind of what the MJO is kind of doing. Oh, this stuff is just coming in, I guess. Oh, okay, here we go. This is the 00Z run, so just the previous run of it. And you can see there's still the rising air MJO that's exiting the Atlantic, but it's still affecting the MDR region and the more central and eastern regions of the Atlantic Basin. But then as we head farther out in time, you can see it actually does try and stick around a good bit, especially just as we head through about mid-September, and then after that, more of a sinking air phase starts to take hold as we go through the rest of September into early towards middle of October. And then this other rising air, this other conducive MJO phase will start to move its way eastward towards the rest of the Pacific into the Atlantic as we head towards towards the very end of October, most likely into November. So that'll be very, very interesting to see unfold and see what all that does to the tropical activity. So that's pretty interesting stuff. Now let's look at the 2020 Atlantic Hurricane Seasons Wikipedia page. If I zoom this out a bit, we've had a total of, where's my mouse? We've had a total of 14 depressions, 13 total storms, 4 hurricanes, and a total of 1 major hurricane. That was Laura. Laura became our first major hurricane. We have a total of now 99 fatalities because Laura's death toll of how many people Laura killed that continues to go up. And the total damage caused by the season thus far is somewhere above $13.76 billion in damage. Laura did cause somewhere around or maybe a little above $8 billion in damage. So it's pretty damaging and deadly storm. So, I mean, that's kind of expected with a Category 4 hurricane. Look at that. That peak intensity. Look at that eye. That is truly incredible. This storm was honestly definitely one for the record books. 150 miles per hour peak winds, 937 millibars at its peak intensity for its pressure. So it's very, very crazy. They still haven't figured out what the total damage Marco caused, though I'd probably just say minimal damage for Marco since it ended up kind of dying out right before it would have maybe impacted Louisiana around New Orleans in that area. And that was especially due to the fact that there was a lot of extreme shear that really just tore the storm apart right as it was trying to make landfall and impact those regions around New Orleans, coastal Mississippi, and coastal Alabama. But yeah, I mean, this storm wasn't really much of a big deal as we thought it could be. So in a way, that was a good thing, just so we didn't have to go through like 2 potentially dangerous hurricanes, one right after the other. But still, Laura was extremely devastating, especially for those people living in southwestern Louisiana. I really hope everyone living in those areas is doing well, trying to make the best out of what happened, trying to repair anything that was potentially damaged in their lives, try to get back to normal. So my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone living in those areas. Hopefully everyone living down there is doing as well as they can after this truly devastating storm. But yeah, it was a really tragic situation, especially with the pandemic going on. So but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it useful, informative. Please remember to like, comment, and especially if you're a first-time viewer, consider subscribing to my channel if you liked what you saw, like the content that I do on my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.